Hi, welcome to episode 7 of Dancing with the Stars.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Renee, and together we are the Tapping Duo.
So I know that you and I both have a lot of feelings about last night's episode, so maybe we'll cover the dances quickly, and then we can talk about who went home.
Okay. All right, so you notice we have Riker and Allison out there first. They did a quick step.
They did, and I thought Riker was just fantastic out there. The choreography was just wonderful.
Yeah, he's pretty consistent. He always looks really good. I love that they threw some tap steps in at the end. It shows he's diversified, which is wonderful.
And I wondered if perhaps as a child he had had tap.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because he was pretty smooth at them.
Yeah, you just don't learn that right away.
Yeah, no matter how young you are, right?
Yeah. Okay, who do we have next?
Chris and Whitney. They did a 1940s foxtrot. How'd you think Chris did?
Let me put Chris out like this. That's how I feel. I don't know. You know, I want Chris to go home. It was very slow, which is fine because I think he can do slow.
Well, don't they have to do the same 8 dances? They just get to choose the order. So he hadn't yet done a foxtrot, so he got to do a foxtrot?
Yeah, that's probably how that works. I haven't really paid much attention to that, but I'm sure you're right in how they do that. Our energy level might seem a little down. We're a little disappointed about the end of the show last night, so...
It's going to carry through. I noticed that Chris was just all about props and tricks yet again, so...
Well, I think you have to cover up that he can't do much, so they add things.
Right, but you know what? He got 34 last night, and I found a big disparity between his level of dance and Riker's, Rumor's, and Willow, and to only be 2 or 3 points behind them.
Well, didn't Riker get like 37? He got 37, right?
He got 37, and Chris got 34. I don't know how you're only 3 points behind Riker, because Riker was phenomenal.
You're right. I totally agree with you.
Something's going down. So, Rumor and Val, they came out next. How do you think Rumor did?
Well, I think Rumor's pretty consistent too. I think Val and her are a dynamo couple. I think they do really good. At this point, though, I was surprised that her flicks that they do in a jive weren't that sharp and her toes weren't pointed, because I noticed stuff like that. So I was kind of disappointed in that.
Well, that's a reasonable critique, because when I thought of the song, it wasn't as fast as some jive songs. So she would have had the time to point her toes and flick sharper, because it wasn't so fast-paced.
Yeah, I agree.
And she got 37, same as Riker, and only 3 more than Chris.
She was closer to Riker, though, ability than this guy, Chris over here.
I would agree 100%.
You know, I don't want to say this guy. I'm sorry. I don't mean to disrespect him. I just want him to go home. Okay.
He was our prediction last week.
He was.
Noah and Sharna. Now, you know, this one you have to be careful about, because he is dancing with half a body. But he might have hit his limit of what he's capable of doing ballroom-wise.
That was said very well, because I was trying to think of how to say that nicely, because he does have, you know, he has, I don't want to use the word disability, what's a good word, challenges that the others don't have. And because I don't think people are disabled if they're still challenging themselves. So he has, though. I think he's moving his hips a little more. I think they tried to get him to act a little bit, which he tried, but he's not an actor, and I understand that too. But I'm not sure. Sharon is still, again, her choreography is great. They had a lot of people on the floor again last night. The more people they have on the floor, the more distraction you have. It's kind of like a magic trick. It's like, let's distract them so they don't see all the non-movement or movement of the contestant. So I'm not sure how much further Noah can go in his abilities, but I think he's done a phenomenal job.
Isn't it amazing that I don't listen to a lot of the judges, but I know at some point in that evening I heard Len go, I don't know why we have so many people on the floor. This is a dance show. Is it just for entertainment? And I thought...
Oh, did he say that?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Because we were all thinking the same thing. What's happened to the show?
Well, it's become a production number rather than just the two dancing to see who's better. It's almost like whose production's better.
Right.
Okay.
So the next couple we had were Robert and Kim. They did a tango. Now, this was one of the lowest scores of the night. How did he compare to Chris?
Well, he did so much better than Chris, you know. I think they purposely, well, I don't know what they do. I'm kind of confused about what goes on behind the scenes. But I thought Robert held his own with his frame this time. I thought Kim didn't look like she was going to be falling every 5 seconds. I love that he still, again, smiles through the whole thing. He doesn't take himself real seriously, yet he does take the dance seriously. But like at the end when he's just like shaking his head like, well, I don't think that was on the tango, Argentine tango. I think that was later on he did that. But anyway, I like Robert. I think he's slightly improving each week.
I would agree, and I would say that he's also more enjoyable to watch. So something in the scoring where Chris gets 34 and Robert's so much more enjoyable to watch, and he's having fun on the floor and he gets a 31. Got my issues with the whole thing. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Nastya and Derek. Now, we know that Derek didn't dance.
I think Sasha was amazing, stepping in and having no opinion. That we saw. The package showed that he didn't really have a say. Derek was going to be the choreographer, which is great. But, you know, he's a pro too. Sasha is. And I'm sure he had some feelings about... He probably just stepped back and let Derek do the whole thing.
Yeah.
know.
Here's another dancer who they masked with a cast of 7 or 8 or 10 other dancers from the intro to the end.
Subway, being on a subway, right?
Being on the subway.
Go over here.
Exactly.
Right?
But for 38, and you couldn't really see what she was doing because there was all that hoopla on the floor, so... Again,
I think she was just having fun with the cast. I'm not sure she got any better. We already know she's really good.
Now, and maybe she was having more fun because there were more people than just her and Derek on the floor. It took pressure off so she had fun. Well, then that's not growing because she's just hiding amongst the crowd.
Yeah, and she's still really good. But I'm not sure she's gotten better. You know, what they're working on with her is her personality, and I don't know. She's a gymnast, very serious gymnast, though, which is great.
Yeah, I can't do any of that.
No, I can't. Are you kidding?
Okay, now we have Willow and Mark, who, quite frankly, poor Willow got burned last night. Okay.
Boy, do I agree with that, man.
They did a futuristic jazz, the ninjas. What'd you think?
I went futuristic jazz. I know Mark. He loves being different. I can hardly wait to see this number from him. He's just going to nail it because I do remember him 8 years ago saying that he was the new ninja, you know. So he's just a lot of fun. He's up there with Derek as far as I'm concerned, as far as choreography. He might have a different twist on it a little bit. Derek's much more Broadway.
Yes.
Fred Astaire, that type of thing.
And
where
Mark is much more creative outside the box.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he'll take a chance on something very, very different.
I would agree.
Futuristic.
Yes,
right?
he's very much a risk taker.
And I loved what they did. And I want to mention, I love that they put Willow, 14, in little shorts underneath that skimpy little outfit. You know, her back might have been naked for a 14-year-old, which is okay.
Well, as a ninja, she was completely covered
yes,
up.
as a ninja, she was totally covered up.
And
yes.
then later, yes, they did a really nice job with her long hair that covered her back. So.
Yeah, so we were okay with that, right?
Yeah,
because
very much
14-year-olds
so.
need to be 14-year-olds.
Yes, and that I appreciate that.
She poured her heart out the whole time. They all have, but...
Well, I was going to say, we know from dancing how hard it is to literally be in sync on isolated movements,
yes.
right? You're doing one thing and the other person's doing something else and you're not touching, so there's no clue that you're on the same time. And they did it perfectly.
Yes, they did. It was great. I loved the number last night.
Yeah, very much
Okay,
so then they had this dance-off, right? And, well, wait, before the dance-off, Nastya came in first, so she was immune. It's like being on Survivor.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, she got immunity. She needs to be kicked off. Her torch needs to be splashed out. But I'm sorry, I have nothing personal against her.
But the show should be about growth, and I'm not saying...
I didn't think she... no, because she just needs to be... Anyway, let's move on.
Okay, so they had a dance-off, and they had... ended up being paired Riker and Willow, Noah and Robert, Chris and Romer, right?
Correct.
So, Riker and Willow, how'd you feel? They did a... What did they do? A cha-cha?
These two, right? Where's Riker? Riker?
Yeah, and Willow. Do you remember what dance they did?
Salsa.
Salsa. I apologize.
No, that's okay.
So, how'd you feel?
You know, that was really even. I really felt these two went head-to-head beautifully. Because they didn't have a lot of time to learn these dances, you know. They just kind of stuck them in there. So, even for me. I think Willow and Mark won that,
They did.
but it could have been either one, and I would have been totally happy.
Well, I would agree that Willow was a more traditional salsa,
yeah,
and Riker had all the pizzazz
yeah.
and a little more tricks. But yes, I thought they were pretty
Yeah, and
equal.
since Len was the decision maker, and he's all about tradition, I could see where they'd go with Mark and Willow.
Yes, except it was 4-0. They didn't even have to turn to. Isn't that right? I don't know. Now I'm
Yeah, I don't
confused.
remember. It's okay. You know what? Mark and Willow got it, and you could have been right.
So Willow gets 2 more points, which in theory puts her above Nastia. 39 points for the night. Not there yet. Noah versus Robert. What'd you think? Here's Robert. He danced against Noah and Sharna.
Or she. They're right here. Okay, these two. We keep bringing them out so you know who they are. Ta-da!
So, Robert won. Did you find a disparity in their dancing abilities?
I thought they're pretty much the same. You know, I think Robert just has the personality that just beats it over for me.
Yeah, probably.
You know?
And then the last group was Chris and Rumor. You have them both.
Yes, I do.
You guys heard my internal dialogue.
There we go.
And Rumor wins this one.
Oh, of course. I mean, Chris, he needs to go home. So I'm all about Rumor and Val. Okay, so can we get to talking about the whole thing last night?
Yeah, now, I don't know, as people were watching the show, if they were wondering what, like, they brought out Bruce Willis. Yes, he's Rumor's dad. But I thought, well, that's interesting. Why this week is he suddenly appearing? He's been there in the audience, but now he's in her package.
Sorry, I don't mean to put my arm in front of your face. There we go.
That's okay. So tell me what you think.
Well, here comes Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis walks in Rumor's package. They want to keep Rumor on the show. So
Right.
now they bring in Bruce, right?
Yep.
He hasn't been there the whole time, except in the audience and being Bruce, which
Right.
is adorable. I mean, Bruce is
But it
adorable.
reminds everybody.
But it reminds of who she is.
Yes.
Right? And she's holding her own with her or without her dad.
Absolutely.
Dance-wise. We're talking about a dance show. But I know it's favorite, and it's also favorite as far as who their partners are.
Mm-hmm.
So Val is very popular.
Yes.
People like him. So Rumor's there. So they brought him in.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Now, they masked Chris is dancing, Robert's dancing, Noah's dancing, Nastia's dancing with groups.
With group numbers.
But they all score pretty decently. Nastia gets a 38, more than Riker gets. Okay.
Which really threw me because, you know, you've got maybe, let's say you have 2 people behind Riker and Allison, okay? You have 2 people on each side. Let's say Lindsay and Peta are over here with their partners or whoever was out there. And they're dancing their heart out, but you're still looking at Riker because he's got so much energy. But when you put like Nastia out there or Chris out there, or I don't think Robert had a big group behind him, which I appreciated. Or Noah even. Noah had a ton of people around him, which masks the ability that he's growing or not because you're so distracted by all the other dancers. It becomes, again, that production number, which don't get me wrong. I love seeing those production numbers.
Oh, they're entertaining.
They're very entertaining, but it takes your eye off of whether or not how good they did.
That's so true. So you have Nastia at 38, you have Riker and Willow at 37, you have Noah at 36, you have Rumor at 35. This just blows me away. Chris and Robert at 31, and who do they send home?
Oh, gosh, do we really need to say goodbye? I was heartbroken for Willow. Didn't you love, let me bring her out. Didn't you love that she was 14?
I did.
As they were saying goodbye, she started crying harder and harder, just like a 14-year-old would. You know,
Yes.
And they all became nurturing parents, just loving her as they should. So,
Well, I didn't think that was a good message to send. I didn't know what the politics were behind why Willow went home. But I thought, you do have a young audience of dancing boys and girls, and you've just sent home a fantastic dancer. I don't think she tanked once this entire competition.
you know, and she's
And there's
tried
weaker dancers
so
on the
hard.
floor. So
Let's see, who would those be?
I don't understand what went wrong. So
Well, they always say it's about voting.
yeah, who?
I'm not sure. We've got some ABC shows going on here that are keeping their ABC show people, like The
Wait.
Bachelor,
The Disney Channel.
the Disney Channel.
Shark Tank.
Remember, these are our positions.
And only our position. So we'll say goodnight to Mark and Willow.
Okay, goodbye, Willow. We'll see you soon on the Hunger Games.
Oh, the Hunger Games, yeah. Probably the last one.
Okay, and thank you, Mark, for being such a wonderful partner for her. Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Dun, dun, dun. Another one bites the dust. Dun, dun, dun. Another one bites the dust. And another one bites. Where are you going, Lisa?
Well, hold
I don't
on.
know where you're going.
They're going to be
Dun,
hearing
dun,
us
dun, dun. She just fell off the chair.
a long time.